What's up, y'all? This is Brett at Start Your Skate Business. I'm so stoked to be here and share with you the 10 tips that you need to know before starting a skate shop. Now, before getting into it, please like and subscribe. Let's share these videos so we can help each other, inspire other skate entrepreneurs. It's going to allow me to reach more people, and I really appreciate that. Also, I'm leaving a link below. This is for a private Facebook group for skateboard business owners. So we share our knowledge together. It's not just me creating the videos, it's other entrepreneurs that are skateboarders all across the world connecting with each other and sharing knowledge together. So hit the link below, join the Facebook group, like and subscribe. And now let's get into these 10 tips you need to know. Starting at number 1, know your why. Number 2, find a location. Number 3, know your numbers. Number 4, understand your customers. Number 5, build a website. Number 6, plan and organize. Number 7, build a team. Number 8, inventory management. Number 9, start big enough. Number 10, embrace emerging trends. Now, we're going to start at number 1. Know your why. Why are you getting into this business? Why do you want to create a skate shop? I know you're passionate about skateboarding. That's why you're watching this. That's why you are going to create a skate shop. That's why you have one. You're thinking about it. But why are you getting into it? Do you want to make money? Do you want to have impact in your community? Do you want to help others? But for myself, I wanted to have a franchise and I wanted my company to be a franchise. So this was really a test to see if my company was able to be copied and made into other businesses, which it was. However, going through the whole franchise process and creating my FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document, and creating all my processes, I realized at the very end, out of this crazy, hard, long task that took me over a year to create, and with the knowledge I accumulated for decades, that I didn't want to do it. And I much rather share that information with you and to the world of skateboarding. Because I love skateboarding so much, I wanted to share this document for free to anyone and everyone. So that's the reason why I actually started Start Your Skate Business. So start with why. This is the book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. This helped me out so much in creating a skate shop. And if you have a skate shop already, this book is going to be super helpful. So I highly recommend you purchasing it and just reading through it. It's actually one of my favorite books that got me started. And another entrepreneur that owns franchise and has a public traded company is the one that told me to buy that book. So that is the reason why I have it, and I read it and I'm so happy about it. So know your why. Identify your strengths and weaknesses as well. This is also underneath number 1. Know what you're really good at. For me, I'm really good at filmmaking. I went to film school, so I know how to create content. I know Photoshop. That's all going to be on the good side. For my weaknesses, that's going to be like knowing my numbers and math and management. Sometimes management was on that. All that stuff was my weakness when I started. Now it's more on my strength side because I identified it so early on. So know what you're good and bad at, what you suck at. So find a location. Number 2, find a location. Refer to my other video, EDDM, where I talk about I share tips on finding a location. It's called Every Door Direct Mail, and it's a tool used by the USPS, the Postal Service, where you can go on their website and you can find the demographics of different communities. So this is going to help you out because not only do you want your skate park, of course, to be near a skate park, it would be ideal, but you also want to make sure that skate park has people there that will actually purchase from you, that have the funds to purchase from you, and that there is a good amount of people there, and that it's not just this town where it's just old people or it's just, one type of demographic. You want to have multi-demographics. My income that I always look at when I started my company was I'm looking at the income, the average income. So I wanted to be around a household of 2 adults and then 1.2 children, and an income of around 95 to 150,000. So that's the sweet spot for me. Also, I use PennDOT. I'm located in Pennsylvania, so PennDOT is our local DMV or our state DMV, where they have tons of information about how many cars pass on certain streets. So when I picked my location, I wanted to be on the busiest street possible. So I had to figure out the intersections of how many cars go back and forth on this, and I wrote that down. That's going to go into helping me out on like, especially with coming up with my marketing budget, because, you know, the more visible I am, the less I really have to spend on marketing. So you want to prioritize high traffic areas. Sometimes those places are going to be more. So I'll give you another example. When I picked my skate shop, I mentioned that I was in a high visible area, and it was $1,000 more than a location that was a little bit further in the shopping center, but no one would see that. And my marketing budget was already around like $1,000 a month. So I'm like thinking to myself, like, well, if I'm spending 1,000 plus a month on marketing, online marketing, what would it like if I'm located a little bit further where people can actually see me, and then I can advertise on my windows, and that is going to be much more beneficial than me just constantly spending $1,000+ on online marketing. So I want it to be somewhere very visible, somewhere where there's already a lot of youth around me, whether it's like next to like a Dairy Queen's or a Rita's Water Ice. So there's children always looking, and I want to be advertising right to them. And I want people to be walking right into my door. So that was really important to me. So I decided to spend an extra, I think it was $1,000 to be on a corner of a little shopping center. So going into finding a location as well is have an attorney read over your lease. This is really important. Don't go into it alone. Just spend the money and have an attorney review the lease, because skateboarding is inherently loud. You're going to have people skateboarding from the parking lot into your store. There might be people hanging out outside of your store. So you want to make sure that you're allowed to do all of that stuff. If you're playing loud music, you want to make sure you're allowed to do it before you get a complaint. And then the next thing you know, you can't do something because of whatever is written down in your lease. You want to know your rights, and you want to feel secure moving forward. Number 3 is knowing your numbers. Knowing your numbers is super important. Aim to have a profit from the beginning. You don't want to just start out just getting by. You want to have a profit that first year, and then you want to constantly grow and have a bigger and larger profit. Usually about like by 10 to 20% every single year is your goal. Also, I want to say, like, pay yourself. There's many times we get into the skateboard business because we're passionate about skateboarding, but hey, passion does not pay the bills. My mentor also told me about knowing my numbers. He put me in my place. He said, well, first of all, before he told me this, I'm an ultra runner. So I skateboard, and I also do ultra runs. I do marathons. I run hundreds of miles all the time. It's something I find that's super fun. So he knows this, and he asked me, he's like, what is your fastest mile? I told him my fastest mile. He said, what's your fastest marathon? I told him my fastest. He's like, what's your goal? And I said, oh, I'd love to do a sub-4 marathon. He's like, well, what do you have to do to run a marathon in less than 4 hours? And I said, oh, I have to do this type of exercising at least this many times a week, and I have to run at this pace for a set amount, and then I lower my amount, and then I raise it back up. And I had all the numbers, and he looked at me and he said, like, I don't care about any of that, any of your numbers about running. I'm asking you this because you should know the same about your business. And I said, wow. I was just like, you're absolutely right. Because at that time, I did not know much about my numbers. Every time he asked me something, I kind of deflected the question. And he eventually knew, like, I just didn't know my numbers well. So that was a great analogy. And it made me really think about like getting more digging into my numbers and understanding them, so that I can set sales goals and I can set benchmarks to make my company grow. So that's really important, knowing your numbers. Number 4 is understand your customer. Who are your customers? Are they kids? Are they teenagers? Are they adults? Like, are the parents paying for the skateboards? So know your customers, know the demographics, use the information I shared above using your local DMV, the EDDM video. Just know who you are carrying the products for. Also, plan to have your customer to be different partners. If you're in a town with a skate park nearby, plan to partner with that township, your local municipality, to do different programs, because that can lead to a crazy large amount of growth within your company. And I know we didn't start the skate shop to do skateboard programs. That's not what you got into it. You're probably not passionate about it. And I'm here to say, like, that's okay. When you work with these local townships, your local municipality, when you work with schools, you set the budget. So you budget in how the staff that has to run it. You don't have to be there to run it. I have programs happening all the time and I'm not there. So don't stop your growth. You want to be open to anything and everything. So your customers are not just the people, they're the local municipality. They are your schools and other organizations that you can partner with in the future. I'll give you an example. My core customer is children for Skate to Foundry. Their ages 7 to 12. Now, I'm going to have skateboards for them. So I'm going to have lots of completes. I'm going to have lots of sizes that are 7.5, 7.775, 8. And then of course I'm going to have some larger sizes for the core skaters, but my niche is having those smaller sizes. So I can really cater to that core demographic because hey, the core skaters, the teenagers, the adults, they're going to come to me regardless because we're a skate shop. So I'm going to have stuff for them. I'm not going to have to market, but the people I'm marketing to are the parents that just don't know that skateboarding even exists, that don't know that sizes of skateboards matter. So I want to be that person to provide that knowledge and provide that amazing service for them, and then get them the skateboard and then upsell them on the helmet and the pads, and then get them to join that local program that I have with the township. And then I convert them into lifelong customers. This is similar to what lots of large companies do. Crest toothpaste is an example of one. They have their whole line for children, toothpaste that tastes really good and like fun graphics on them. And what they're doing is they are creating customers, the children, and they're pretty much getting them on board of their company from such a young age for them to grow with the company forever. So when they turn into adults, they're going to buy the regular Crest toothpaste and the toothbrush. And so that's what their goal is. That's what I studied it back in college. And that's one of our case studies that I remember. So you want to do the same thing. You want to plan. Well, what I do in my example is I plan for the long term. My customer starts at a very young age and I want them to grow with me. And when they get out done doing the programs, because they get old enough, they come back to me to buy their merchandise. And then they get a little bit older and they can start working for me and they start interning and then they turn into employees, but they're long-term customers forever. So that is my goal, my intentions when I start out with the customer from the very young age. Number 5 is build a website. So having a website is really important. I was actually surprised to see how many people that shopped on my website, even if they didn't buy anything, but they would always check to see what I had, and then they'll come into the store to actually purchase it or see if I actually have it in stock. So you want to update your website as many times that you update the inside of your skate shop, as far as like moving fixtures around, re-merchandising things, moving things around, updating displays. You want to do the same thing for your website. And we'll get into that a little bit more when we talk about planning and organizing. Number 6, planning and organizing. That was quick. So first, let's talk about planning. You want to plan for your absence. So that means creating SOPs. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. So when you are creating this SOP, start with something small, start it with something that is super easy that you can do with your eyes closed. I mentioned to you earlier, I went to film school, I know media, I have tons of media equipment that I collected over the years. So it was very easy for me to create an SOP of how to create different videos, how to create content, how to update my website, how to create flyers on Photoshop, how to use the register. Like, it was really easy for me to just create these things. And when I created that, it allowed me to have an intern, an unpaid intern that was there for college credit, to take the information that I have and start doing it. And that freed me up to do other things within the business and grow it in different ways. Now, yes, I was very upset to give away my favorite thing to do, which is create content. But I did give it away, and I'm glad I did, because as you grow, any business, as it grows, you start losing different aspects that you love about it, the freedom of doing different things. And that's just the way business goes. So you just have to accept it if you want growth. And okay, so we talked about the planning part of plan and organize. Now let's talk about organizing. Okay, let's talk about the organized part. So I want you to stay focused here. There's so many times that you probably have went into your skate shop, or you will go into your skate shop and you do a ton of stuff, and at the end of the day, you have no idea what you did. This happened to me. It happens to me so often. It happened to me so often. Not much anymore. But you want to stay on track. You want to stay focused on things that you have to do. So I highly recommend having a weekly and a monthly calendar of things that you have to do on certain days. I'll give you an example here. Monday, you update the website. Every Monday, just update the website. Tuesday, create an SOP. I don't care what it's for. You can just have a list of all your passwords for your social media accounts so that an intern can log in and update that stuff. Wednesday, you research partnerships. Do you want to find like all the schools in around you or other businesses that you can partner with in the future, whether it's just doing a skate event like a Halloween skate jam and you need to get some pizzas or something like that, but you want to build those partnerships, and so you want to start reaching out and networking. Say Thursday, you want to study. Say whatever it is, just pick a topic. I'm going to pick a topic of sales. You want to study selling. How do you sell? You might be a really outgoing person, and how do you harness your outgoingness and your personality that people just love to be around, and you're infectious? And how do you harness that to create sales and sell as much as you can within your store and sell your programs and sell yourself to the local municipality, sell yourself to the schools so they know they can trust you, they like you, so you can add your programs to those places. So you need to focus on selling, whether you're looking up YouTube videos, whether you're reading books, whether you are doing, listening to podcasts, whether you're talking to a mentorship, whether you're getting coaching. You need to pick a time in a day and be intentional about all of these tasks that you have to do. And that is going to allow you to grow at a really fast rate and keep you focused. There's so many times, I do want to say, there's so many times that we have this end goal. We start with at the beginning of having a skate shop, and we have this end goal of maybe a different location and a large, but we get sidetracked. There's a thing called the straight line to success, where if you imagine yourself on a straight line with the end goal, but there's so many times that we get sidetracked where, we are creating skateboards now, and we get off this line to success, and we're so focused on creating these graphics for the skateboards for our skate shop, and then there's other times we get sidetracked and we start doing the same for t-shirts, and we start designing our own t-shirts, and then there's so many things where we get sidetracked, whether you're writing a book or something like that, creating YouTube tutorials and all of this stuff. You get sidetracked, and it takes you away from getting and reaching to that end goal that you are trying to reach. So staying focused is so important. I cannot stress that enough. The last thing I want to say about that is, we as skateboarders, we are just creative people. That's just the nature of who we are. That's our identity. We create skate spots. We love skateboarding. We create tricks. So it's easy for us to get distracted. I feel like it's easier for us skaters more than any other person within another industry to get sidetracked. So that's why it's really important for us to stay even more focused and be aware of that. And if you need to, you can write that in your weakness. It's hard to stay focused. All right, number 7 is build a team. Start small. Start with interns, free interns that are doing it for college credit. Don't do it. Don't have interns that are just there just because they want to be involved. Really make sure you have a reason, and that your intern has a reason of being there. College credit is one, because they want to enhance their skills, they want to grow, and that they are doing this for a grade. And technically they are paying to be there. So it's really important to have interns. You can find them either through your social media or Indeed. Using Indeed for me was really important, and it was great because Indeed gets you a lot of people to apply. So it's great. Number 8 is inventory management. So a lot of times I get asked, inventory is always the question or the topic that people ask me the most when starting a skate shop. And it really depends, what brands and how much you should buy your products for, how much you should sell them. And that really depends on everything that I just mentioned above, leading up to this number 8 as of inventory management. Knowing who your demographic is, knowing where you're located at, that is all going to play a really key role into what you're going to sell and what you have to stock up on. Also, just think about some additional things is your store size, your financing, can you afford it? And then of course your target market. Choose your distributions wisely. You don't want to have a ton of them. I have a blog that I'll link below that it shares where, you don't want to have a ton of distributions. You want to focus on having just a few of them in the very beginning and building up that relationship. Everything is built upon relationships. So really create a relationship with your distributions. Also, if you want to have a large quantity of skateboards, of, your shop brand, you can either go to different distributions such as Clutch Distribution, Pinswood, I believe. That's another one located in Pennsylvania. There are distributions, or I should say manufacturers. There's manufacturers within the United States that is pretty cheap to get your boards from and pretty quick to get your boards from. Clutch Distribution is one. Pinswood is another one. Point Distribution is another one. They're based in Las Vegas. So there's places that you can get skateboards from. So I highly recommend doing that. And then and this also goes back to knowing your target market, because for me, my target market, children, and I also do programs at schools where I'm dealing with hundreds of kids at once, where they all are buying skateboards at once. So instead of me going to a US manufacturer, I might go to a manufacturer in China where I can purchase 100 skateboards, complete skateboards, for maybe $15. Now, it's all about knowing your target market, who is buying your stuff, and that is going to dictate where you're going to be buying your products from. Now, with all that being said, it's really important to have a mentor, have a coach to help you out to pick out these distributions or manufacturers that you are going to be ordering from. On Start Your Skate Business, I do have a link, a page where it's resources that I have ordered from that I like, so you can check that out. You can also send me an email if you would like coaching, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through and share with you all the places that I order from that you can get products quick and easy. And it's a great way where you can have the fast lane to starting your company with success. Number 9 is start big enough. So there's many times where I see a lot of new skate shops like kind of just dipping their toe in and like trying to feel it out and find out like what products sell the most and what are good products. And just because you personally may like a product a lot doesn't mean little Timmy is going to like it or Big Tommy is going to like it. You like the names I came up with? So really just, again, do all your research and make sure when you open your shop that you have a lot of places or a lot of merchandise to choose from. A skateboard business owner that owns a skate shop told me years ago is that have a variety of product. That is one of like the top things that you want to have. It's just like have a ton of stuff, make it fun. Like make it when you're in there, you're kind of like getting lost. You want to feel like chaotic in your store and like having tons of products to choose from. Not saying like you want to invest like so much money into like having 100 boards when you first open, because yeah, it is a risk as well. So you don't want to have a ton of products that are sitting around. And that's when it also comes down to like sales to like get your products moving. And it goes into more of like, not just like marking down your products, but like how to actually sell your products. So there is a thing called perceived value that you can do, which is what I like to do is putting packages together within my programs so that people think they're getting something for free, but they're really actually paying for it. So there's definitely like tons of ways that you can move your product that is sitting around for a long time so you can keep things fresh and relevant. The last thing you want to do is have your products just sitting around, but it's really important that you do have products when you start. You should have done your research and you should have a store filled with some really like a bunch of stuff, whether it's like, high end or low end, but you should have a little bit of mix of both. Number 10 is embrace emerging trends. Now, this is really important. It took me a little while, maybe like a year or two, to actually really do this. It's just like when I say embrace emerging trends, explore different ideas that are related to skateboarding and that your customers like. For example, electric skateboards, the one wheels, whether it is like paint markers for children to draw on their skateboards, whether it's like coloring books. I don't know, like it could just don't have your blinders on. Just be open to everything. Listen to your customers. They're going to tell you what they want. I personally never thought in my life I would sell skateboard trainers. But yet here I do. I sell skate trainers and I sell the balance boards, and they do sell. And you're gonna find like a lot of ski shops don't sell those things. And that's what like new skaters, they are on YouTube and they're looking at this stuff and they want to buy it. And then they see it in your store and they're gonna get it. Now, I'm not saying like go stock up on one wheels and electric skateboards or anything like that. It's all about doing your research. But I do want to say like just be open to those things. Also, I want to say like be open to having programs. I am a program specialist. I know the ins and out. I have partnered with schools, everything, businesses, nonprofits, municipalities, and I've done it all. I've worked from every single level of creating that connection, building a relationship, offering the programs either on my website or offering the programs on the township's website. And I've done it all. And I mean, I've taught it, and it's actually quite easy, I want to say. So I want to say, like, don't limit yourself. That's really important. Be open to ideas. And you, like I said earlier in this video, you don't necessarily need to even teach. I know you didn't start the skate shop to teach programming, and that's okay. That's what the budget's for. That's why all the planning that we have done and we talked about, that's what all this is for. And that's why we can offer and grow in different areas and have your skate shop really like succeed and blossom. And that's going to lead to other things where you maybe in the future you'll purchase your own building, and you're in the real estate, and you can and you're just, you know, it's endless. So just never have your blinders on, accept everything, accept the emerging trends and everything. That's about it. I'm a little winded. So in conclusion, I just want to say just success is a lot faster when you have the help. That is the reason why I created Start Your Skate Business. And that is the reason why I'm offering coaching, because this is something that doesn't exist in skating. I looked all over, and I wish Transworld Skateboard Business was still a thing, because I studied those magazines. I loved those magazines when they were around like a decade and a half ago. But that's not here anymore. I don't know if there's even like skateboard trade shows anymore, but all that stuff is stuff that I wish that existed, and stuff that I do in the future want to create and have trade shows where, and have meetings where other skateboard businesses and skateboard business owners can come together and share ideas and grow skateboarding. And that is also the reason why I created a Facebook private group for skateboard business owners. And that is the reason why I want you to join, where you can share your ideas and share what works for you. And you can get information or ask a question about skateboarding and skateboard business, and someone across the world will be able to answer you and give you their information and how it affected their company. So join my private Facebook group and let's grow skateboarding together. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like what this is and you like what I'm doing, please subscribe so I can reach more people. Let's grow skating together. Success only happens with a team. And us business owners, I feel like we are a team. We're a unique group of people. So thank you for watching. If you want more, email me. Talk to you later. See you later.